Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. I hope you guys are all enjoying the tutorials that I'm putting out at the moment. In this video with you guys, I want to share with you how I draw skulls or skull character faces. Now if you know me and have been following me for a while, you know one of my favourite things to draw is actually skull characters like this. And basically I'm just going to break it down from start to finish, how I put the shapes in, go into detail and then build from there. So yeah, I won't waste any more of your time, I just want to jump straight into it and show you guys how I'm doing this. So let's go. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do, like most things when you start drawing, is just do the basic shape. So to begin with, starting off with a squashed kind of circle shape. Like, it's not a nice perfect circle, but it's more a bit of got a squashed angle there. And from there, I'm just going to do a cross line going straight through it. This skull here, we're going to have it facing this direction to begin with. I'll draw you a couple so you get a good idea of different angles, and then hopefully the repetition will get into your head and how I'm breaking it down. Now the basic shapes that I'm actually going to be using for the start of this skull is this. It literally is two circles and a triangle. If you look at this, you already got like the basic shape of a skull there, even just like that skull candy logo. But yeah, from the central line, the first sort of circle, I put the first circle in place. I do actually quite a fairly big size. If you see my other tutorial on how I draw the girls, it's basically the same sort of principle, but obviously it's the socket, so you've got the whole eye in place. And from the other side here, instead of drawing a circle, which you're probably thinking the same, don't do that. The reason you don't want to be doing that is because it's flat, especially from an angle, it's flat. If it's looking from this direction, you're not going to see the whole circle here. So basically, what I'm going to do to fix this problem is draw more of a rectangle shape. And from the rectangle shape, I'm just going to curve these corners in like this. In here, and then round it off. Okay. And now once you've got both eyes in place, I'm going to do the nose. Similar again, we're not going to do a face. If it was a human face, I'll be placing the nose down here. But obviously, because it's a skull, so there's going to be no sort of skin area here. We're just going to go straight for the triangle. So just put a triangle shape here. Okay, guys. As you can see already, you can probably tell, like, well, okay. The skull is forming. The skull is forming. The next thing I'm going to do, I jump to, is using the circle line. The original circle is you get a good indication of where the cheekbone lies. So I'm just going to sort of follow this line and pull it towards the nose. But instead of going all the way to the nose, just sort of flick it down here. And follow that line. Imagine like the line's going straight across, and do the exact same on the other side. There we have it. And now you can see how simply a skull can start to be formed. And following this eye again, where you go up, I'm going to put a line following that. Now for the top row of teeth, I like to do this. I pull a little line, look at this eye, and halfway through the line, drop a small indication there just to give you a bit of guidance. And now imagine a downwards triangle coming from this side to the center. There's the center, and the same goes here. And I'll show you stuff that's a bit advanced here. I'll show you stuff instead of putting in shapes. Is follow this line, this triangle. Let your hand go loose, and put in these dotted circles. Just keep it loose. Almost like they're just forming themselves. I've just literally stayed, when doing that line, I just stayed with a triangle and just put in these little square shapes, because with a skull, no two skulls are the same, so it's not you're aiming for a perfect result. You literally try to make each skull different, if you will. Okay, so once there, that's the basic front of the face, the skull in place. And seeing this edge here, just want to like a maybe 3mm to the right. I'm going to follow the same curved line there, so I'm just going to curve it to there, and from there you can easily connect it to there, the cheekbone. And here, if I do an indication line, that's the perspective line. So when this cheekbone hits there, like this, I'm going to drag a line going back, just to give it way more dimension as well. So that line goes back, and same goes for this. Follow that to put that shape in. A little trick for you, if you studied a lot of skulls, is there's a little gap here normally, which you can see through. Putting this little line in here it makes it just show that you understand how a skull is, and that will normally be the background there, a bit of background that comes through. Obviously you want to go out into the real world and study real skulls to get a great understanding of where holes will be, or where certain aspects of the skull will be placed, but you can do that in your own time. Okay. From the two skulls as well, there's normally a line. I'm not sure the name of the line, but it's like a crack that goes from the right to the left side. So the same as the teeth, it doesn't actually matter where the line's going too much, but you want that curvature here. So that's the line you want, but then just let your pencil go loose. And there we have it. That's like the basic now. From the right side, I'm going to go angle back into this beginning shape, angle up, and I normally like to pull it and give it a flick, and then carry on the line above. And now from here, I like to normally pull. I'm aiming to get maybe about there, so I'm going to pull the line back with a slow curve to this point. Now I've hit the perspective line once again, the same as similar over here. So I'm aiming to now work from, well, work from this side, which we worked from at the beginning. We're now working at this angle, back. So where this line has hit the perspective line, I'm pulling back. And I give it a small overhang and pull it in where this jawline has ended. So that would be the jawline. Pull that in. Maybe a bit further back. Maybe a little bit more further back. And curve that up a bit. I'm just going to put this line in here. You have to, this is just me just aiming up the middle. And the same that side. That's just the after effect. After effect, like I'm Adobe. Bloody hell, what's wrong with me? And put that in place. And that is the basic premise of a skull. Da-da, da-da-da-da. Now this one hasn't got actually I'll put a jawbone in this one quickly, just because it's a tutorial. Jawbone. Start off with just drawing that. It's like a rectangle. Straight away you can probably see, right, you can see the indication of where I'm going. A few small teeth, put a few small teeth in place. The good thing with teeth is you don't really have to think too much where you're placing them, because as long as they're sitting on the line, you're pretty much golden. Especially for this sort of style as well, that sort of illustration, animation style. And yeah, I'm just pulling lines to about this point of the skull, because that's where the jawline would be sitting. So I'm just going to pull this line back in. And another little trick for you is I don't usually line the back bit of the jaw, which you see here. I just put small indications and actually shade it. it gives you a much more better sense of it's been pushed back. So without the lines holding it in place, it just looks like it's further back. Yep. It's looking like Skeletor from He-Man. I have the power! Right, guys. That's skull number 1. You know what Sotap does. Sotap does not let you down. You know you've got a few skulls coming. So if you've got the time, which I know you have because it's quarantine, I'm going to go through a few more processes. But for now, I'm going to speed up this video and just time-lapse this, because this is just a rough basic down. From here, you can say, oh, cool, I want to add a little anti-cross on his eye, or I want to put a hat on him. From this stage forward, you can literally do whatever you want to this skull because the basics are down. And once the basics are down, you just build on top of it. So yeah, I'm just going to speed up for you guys right now and jump straight into the next skull. It's as simple as that. Now we've got this Skeletor looking guy, looking mean as hell. And that's how you do it. You've got to break down the simple shapes and build upon that. Don't put pressure on yourself. Don't zero in on it and be going to yourself, this has to be perfect. Just throw it in quick. Just quick and loose and then build up. But that's one skull for you. That's one skull. And now I'm just going to jump straight into a second one. Starting off with the same sort of principles. But I might actually start off changing the base shape a little bit. So, like I said, if you keep it loose, I'll show you how this process works. Okay, so a simple shape. I had a squash circle for that. This I'm just going to draw with a rectangle. Central line in place. Same thing with the eyes again. This time we're switching sides. So where this eye was here, put that circle shape in. Like I said at the beginning, 2 circles and a triangle. But remember, this one, we're adding that curve shape here. So it starts with a circle and then you just bend it in. So 1 second circle in place with the bend in there. So it sort of looks like a Pringle, if you know what I mean. I think that's the first time anyone's ever referenced a Pringle as in an art lesson, but Sotap doesn't really do what other people do. Crazy guy. And triangle here. Now look at my basic shape, it's like a square, it's already in place. Where I pick this right side, I'm going to do exactly the same and pull it in. But instead of going back, which I did there, I'm actually going to go with the square. I'm actually almost going to copy that square shape. And this is how you can have the same subject material, obviously a skull, but by just messing around with a few shapes, you can have a completely different look to it, a different style. Which obviously, if you're in character development, you know all this already. It's just you start off with the basics. And I'm pretty much copying the same principle as this. I'm putting in the cheekbones, and the same goes for this cheekbone, and pull it back. And with this line, once again, the same process, up and back. Nose is in place. And remember the triangle shape we did? So from the nose, just draw like a central down and aim for a point. If you want to go crazy, you could literally put the triangle down to this sort of point. For me right now, that's really low. But let's do it anyway. Might learn something from it. I'm pulling this mouth bit to that side of the triangle, and pretty much where I pull that triangle as well, I've hit it pretty bang on, so I'm going to copy that. And now from about this sort of point, loosen the teeth, but all heading towards this direction. Could even do no teeth really. If you want to do no teeth, just don't add the bottom bit, just go up. So just up, no bottom. Whoa, this is quite a quite a exaggerated shape right now. And as you go as well, you can adjust things as you go. So look, oh, I like that eye to be pulled forward a little bit. I want this to come in more. And these are just slight adjustments. There's not actually a technique here. It's just your personal preference. And now we're following a squarer shape. So look, my base shape, I don't have to think about it now. That's the great thing. I've taken all that mental bandwidth out. I'm not even thinking too much because it's already in place from a rectangle, which later on helped me down the line. I know it's hard sometimes when you sketch because, well, for me, I want things to be perfect from start to finish, and that was a problem. It kept stopping me from having more flow. A lot of my images start looking the same, but as you keep practicing, you start realizing that by being scrappy at the beginning, a lot of the times leads to a better finished product. So sometimes there's beauty in the mess. It's kind of like life. Sometimes you have those real bad moments, and at the time you're like, oh, this is a mess, but when you look back on it, you realize to yourself, that happened for a reason, and I learned so many lessons that I'm actually better because of that. So the same for drawing. Just keep it messy. It's not meant to be perfect, and later on down the line it comes together, and then you can use the starting shapes to create something which is actually unique because you've even broken the form a little bit. And there you go, guys, a completely different skull using the same principles from the first one. And now this time I'm going at it again. I'm just going to pick up all the indications of the lines I want to keep. So you do exactly the same. Yeah, I'm just going to time lapse it for you guys so you don't have to sit there for the whole 10 minutes or so and watching it. So I'm just going to time lapse this for you. Two skulls down, so that's two different angles I just showed you guys. How starting with a different basic shape from the very beginning can give you a whole different skull basically. Yeah, I'm going to just show you one more skull. I'll show you one more just so I'm just trying to drill it into you, like the process of it. So you've seen it once, you've seen it twice, you see it a third time. It's deep into your subconscious mind. When you go to draw something, it's there, it's primed, and you can just create your own skulls and create a nice skull family. So third skull, we've got two angles. Let's just do this one central with the same process. So you know what's coming? Starting off with a circle. So bang, circle. And because it's facing central, like the two, you had this line coming that way, this line coming this way. A center line is obviously central. And from the two, circle, circle, triangle. So from the center lines, circle, and this is where you do put a circle here because it's straight on. If it's at an angle, you want to take the angle perspective into place, and I'll show you this on this skull we've already done. Is imagine these invisible lines coming across like that. Oh, and the same for here. Okay, the perspective is these 2 points a lot further away because it's closer to the viewer's eye compared to this point here, which is a lot smaller because it's further away. If you really want to go crazy perspective, and how you do that is you adjust these. Like imagine you're in Photoshop, you adjust these. So if my perspective line was here, and then join that line here, like there, the perspective on that would be mad. It'd be crazy. But obviously then you have to adjust everything else as well, and that's playing with perspective. Anyway, we're going off track now. You've got me off track. So just keep that in mind if you want to play with perspective. If you want a lesson on that, I'll show you. But back to the straight on tutorial for the people sat waiting. So circle 1, circle 2, 2 circles, equal distance between the central line, and a triangle. It's just like being in math class all over again. Bang, isosceles. There you go, Miss Probert. It's like maths did come in handy after school. Wow. And from there I'm just going to put in a straggly line connecting the 2 circles, and already skull is being formed. Forming the nose and that central line, I'm just going to draw a little indication here, like a little dip shape. I'm going to square off these circles a tiny bit. So square them off. And then next to each socket, leave about ½ centimeter gap and just line upwards. Line upwards. And underneath you've got 2 cheekbones, so you're aiming for that line. I don't really know how, yeah, that sort of line. So it's not straight across, but it's got an angle going downwards. So put it in and down. The good thing about once you've got these basic shapes in place is it indicates later where the teeth are falling. So I want my teeth to come to this point. So cheekbones will actually be pulled in, and the jaw, the top of the mouth, sorry, will start. So that'll be pulled in, and it will start somewhere around here, and triangle it back into that little indication we've got in place. So you've got this sort of shape now being formed. Kind of looks like a bit of a spaceship thing going on. Right, and teeth, as before, just jotting teeth across that triangle line. This is nowhere near anatomically correct. Obviously, it's illustrated style. Put in place, keep a few random shapes in, pull that in. And I'll actually draw on the back of the skull is you're aiming to pull it in a tiny bit, so each side's pulled in a little bit, out, then it goes out a tiny bit and back up. So in, out, shake it all about. And then you get to a certain point, it's hard to explain, you get to a point, maybe from the center where you started, and then it dips in quite sharply, like this. Boom. And right now it's looking very blocky, but these are just the base shapes of how things are being formed, so this isn't going to be the final result. Just tighten a few things in, bring this in a tiny bit more. And central line. From the cheekbones here, I'm just going to add a little, so it dips and then it hooks back in. Same goes there. Bring it a tiny bit, just adjusting it. And then putting in the jawbone. Just going to do this straight on jawbone, so putting in a rectangle and triangle lines down to the center. And then just putting the teeth in once again. Might have a few missing, put one in here. I'm just indicating them in. Play up that bottle shape a tiny bit. And now from these lines, I'm just going to add a few notches into it to give it more of a shape. and that is the basic of a center facing skull. So similar to the others, once you've got it all in place, I'm just going to speed the video up now and just tidy up things and add the lines I want to keep and build from the basic shapes. Right, and there we have it, guys. That's 3 different styles of skulls from start to finish, just showing you the basic shapes and building up from there. You've got 2 different sides and obviously the facing forward. Now I ain't going to let you just do all this work and go and take the time to go learn this, because I know it takes a lot of time to sit down and learn this process. So I'm going to go and stick with it and draw with you guys. I'm going to end up filling this sheet just full of skulls, just going to time lapse it all. That way I can save it down as a PDF for you guys. You can just download that. You can trace a few, you can print it off, add bits to it from there. Yeah guys, we're going to put in the work together. So this way, you guys get to grow, I get to grow, and we can just create a sick art community. So yeah, I'm just going to wind it forward and then just crack out a bunch of skulls using the same process. So if you are watching time lapse, watch, peep the game and see the process get repeated. Right everybody, there we have it. I figured, seeming as I'm doing a lesson, I'm not just going to let you guys put in all the work yourself, because trust me, sitting down studying, sometimes it can be long, but I'm not going to let you do that. So I'm going to chip in and make sure we just get together and all just practice and grow together. So thank you to everyone who stuck around to the end. It's been a journey, this video. I enjoyed making it for you guys. Firstly, I just want to say a big thank you to everybody on the Patreon team. That's Billy, Jeff, Miguel, Sacred Scribbles, and Tyler. Thank you so much for supporting me on my Patreon so far. And if you guys have any requests or any questions, please just drop me a message in the comment section. Like, subscribe, all that other YouTube clout, bang bang, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care, guys. And one last thing, just before I go, there will be a PDF download in the description box. So if you want to download this, trace of it, copy of it, just learn from it, you can do so. So yeah, I'll put that in the description box. Yeah, that's it. Take care.